What do you really, really long for? What do you really, really, really want in your life? Have you ever gone inside in a really serious way to find out, why am I here? Why did I choose to take birth at this time, in this place, not 100 years ago, not 100 years from now? Maybe you'll do that, who knows? But why are you here now? Have you considered that question? I think it's a very, very important question that we all eventually need to go inside and find the answer to. It's not an answer that happens up in your mind. It's much, much deeper than that. All depending on where you are in your life. It has to do with age, it has to do with experiences, it has to do with family, where you live, culture. We're influenced by a lot of these things. And that's being imprinted on us as if that is how it's supposed to be. But when you go and look deeper, is it really what you want? Or are you trying to fit into what the world wants you to want? So I want to invite you to take this seriously, to really go in and find that place in you where you feel a yearning, you feel a longing, you might feel a reason why you're here, what you wanted to experience this time around, what really, really deeply matters to you. And you have to be aware that this is really is different for everybody, and it differs at various times of our lifetime. So take that to heart. Even right now, you might just sense into, what do I want? If you come to the end of your life, will you regret something? Will you go like, gosh, I went this way, but all along I felt this? And that's what I really love to help my clients find, at a much deeper place, and then learn to honor it, take it seriously, and spend time with that to listen to it, what it will look like. I know in my own life, many years ago, when I was much more insecure, I doubted myself, I thought others knew better than I was not listening to myself. I was kind of, I was just blown around by the wind in life, depending on what other people said or thought or told me. And I was confused. I was not connected here. And most of us are not connected here when we're younger because we're not really living our own lives yet. So it's all normal. There's nothing wrong with any of that. It's how it works. But then comes a time where you go like, is this really what I want? So when I was younger and I was really insecure, at a certain point, I just felt like, what I really, really want in this lifetime is to learn to trust myself. I was not trusting myself. I was trusting that others knew what was best for me. I even remember asking people when I was younger, I remember it. I would say, what do you think that I feel? That's what I said. What do you think that I feel? As if somebody else would know that, right? But that was the depth of my insecurity, of course, based on my upbringing, where I was always told what to do and blah, blah, blah. We all have our story. But at a certain point, I was like, I really want to know how to trust myself. So I did do a lot of work I took it seriously, and I took the steps, I did the work to find out. Part of that was, of course, the Hakomi training, where now I am a Hakomi therapist. But the Hakomi training, the Hakomi work is very much about learning to listen to your deeper truth, basically learning to listen to what you already know, but are not listening to because, we're covered with all these layers of shoulds and coulds and whatever. So that was immensely helpful. And it really helped me to just ground in myself and start trusting myself and be me, listening to what a yes feels like, what a no feels like, honoring the yes, honoring the no, learning to set good boundaries. In the beginning, when you set boundaries, it's kind of like you have to fight for it, right? But then eventually, when you start honoring and yeah, really honoring what is your truth, what is my truth. Setting boundaries becomes much more soft instead of, just no, which is important in the beginning. But then at a certain point, it's just like, no, that's not for me. You don't need to defend it or justify it. You just say, no, it's just not for me. And then you go about your business. So that was one layer that I moved through. And then after that, it became very, very important to trust the divine. That was my next deep, deep longing. It felt like, wow, I almost accomplished trusting myself in this lifetime. But now I want to experience my next lifetime in this lifetime and really learning to trust God. And that's been a journey on its own already. And I think that's an ongoing journey. But that became my next deep, deep yearning. Like, what is that like, And then I remember many years ago, I was in a workshop and we were asked to write our desire statement. And I took some time finding that. And what came was, let me see if I remember the words. I deeply rest in the effortless flow and fulfillment of God's loving grace. This is, I don't know if it's 15 years ago or something, and it's still true. You say it as a positive statement, as if it's already here. But that has been with me because I found what really, really matters to me, what I am here for. So I wrote it down. I made some nice little postcards. And just as a reminder, if I would forget, what really, really matters? What do I really, really want? And then I could go and just like, I deeply rest in the effortless flow and fulfillment of God's loving grace. And then I will stay there and just feel that. It's like, feel that, yes, yes, that's what I want. That's all I want by now. There really is not much out there that I want anymore. I will certainly enjoy a lot of things, but I don't have this grasping that I want something. So if I look at my life, what I came here for, it was moving through the obstacles to fully resting in and as the divine and in the grace and the fulfillment and the natural flow. So that's my daily practice 24/7, except when I forget, but I can come back really quickly. So what I want to say about this yearning, this deep longing, this is my key home. Every time I feel I have moved away, and I know when I've moved away too far because I start feeling, tight inside or tense. There's something that feels that it's off. And it's because I have left this flow, this yearning, this feeling of what I really want in here in my heart. And as soon as I remember, boop, I'm right back. And it's like, oh, that's what I want. That's right. And then I stay there. And then I surrender the upset, the fear, whatever it is. It's like, no, I don't want that anymore. If I get too involved in something, and I feel I'm leaving this peaceful place, I go like, Pernilla, is that what you want? And of course, the answer is like, no. It's very clear because I know what I want. That doesn't mean I can't be pulled away and get distracted and identified with things, but it's not very far. I can't go too far anymore without catching myself because it just doesn't feel good. It just feels awful, to be honest. So it's like, oh, is that what you want? No. Well, what do you want? Ooh, I deeply relax or rest in the effortless flow and fulfillment of God's loving grace. Ah, thank you. And there is really that feeling of thank you for bringing me back. Thank you. There's a sense of deep gratitude. And it's kind of that simple to start living from that. So this is my invitation for you today, if you feel so moved, to just take some time and find out what you really, really want. And then commit to that, stick with that, and notice what pulls you out. And if you get pulled out, you have the choice, when you catch yourself, you have the choice to say, is that what I want? This argument? Do I want to be angry at these people? Do I want to give my energy to that? No. And then it's like, well, what do I want? And then you know what you really want because it's always there. That's why it's so important to find it. It's always there, always. And it's deepening. Like I said, it changes, but it's still that. It's like this descending into your soul, into your felt sense, into your own frequencies of expression. So give it a go. Check it out. If you need help, you can always check it out. My website, you want to connect with me. My website is divinefeminineflow.com. And with that, I wish you a beautiful day, resting in that felt sense of the yearning of what really, really matters to you. You so deserve it. It's there for a reason. Thank you.